Hello friends, myself Harpreet Saini. Welcome to Anthropology and Tutorials. Today we will discuss about the branches of anthropology. In this video I am only explain the two types of branches. Rest of the three branches I will explain in the next video. So let's start. So how many types of branches of anthropology? There are 5 types of anthropology. So these are the 5 branches which I have explained in the next slides. So the first is the biological or physical anthropology, second socio-cultural anthropology, third applied anthropology, fourth archaeological anthropology, and fifth linguistic anthropology. So these are the 5 branches of anthropology. Now the first branch, that is biological or physical anthropology. Biological anthropology and physical anthropology is one of the same thing, right? So don't confuse with it. Biological or physical anthropology deal with the study of biological, physical, morphological, genetical, evolutionary concepts with space and time, right? And it is not only concerned with the living but also non-living humans. These branches deal with legal and justice study related to fossils or living person, also by investigating the skulls or decomposed bodies from the sites. So it studies not only the individually but also in the group. So that's why it is very unique subject. So physical anthropology is the branch of anthropology most closely related to the natural sciences, particularly biology. That is why it is often a biological anthropology, right? And it studies the biological dimensions of human beings, including biological evolution, physical variation between the population, and the biology and behavior of non-human primates. And physical anthropology itself is further divided into the many subfields. Now next, physical anthropology is divided into 15 subfields. There are many more, but here I am only explain the 15. That are paleoanthropology, anthropometry, paleopathology, dental anthropology, ethnology, medical anthropology, evolutionary biology, human genetics, human biology, ethnology, demography, primatology, nutritional anthropology, and ergonomics, and the last is forensics anthropology, right? So the first branch, that is primatology. What is a primatology? Primatology is the study of primates and study of the biology and behavior of primates, right? That is the animal that most closely resembles with human beings in terms of physiological and anatomical structure, and is an important field of physical anthropology. Primatologists observe primates such as gorilla, chimpanzee, gibbon, orangutan, or any other in their natural habitats to ascertain the similarities and differences between the other primates and humans. So this field helps and assists to classify the position of fossils in a taxonomic group by matching the features of fossils with primates, which given by the primatology. So primatology is a very important branch that helps the anthropologists to determine the position of the fossils which are found from the sites by matching the features with the primates that are given by the primatology. So in this way primatology helps the anthropology, right? Next is ethnology. Ethnology is a study of human diversities. All the living men in the world are categorized into different groups broadly known as races. These also attempt to explain the nature, formation, and differentiation of the racial groups. So this is a study of racial variation. There are a number of racial groups which help to classify the people according to the place and body feature, because environment play very crucial role to create a changes in the population. So Caucasoids have a white skin, right, because they are away from the equator, and Negroids have a black skin because they are living in near to the equator, and Mongoloids have a yellow skin because of they're living in intermediate. So then there are some other factors also which are responsible for their racial changes. But these if the person is affecting that changes, and it may be a genetical. It is passed to the generation because of that environment. So if these type of studies are studied by the ethnologists, there are some other reasons or factors also which are responsible for these changes, and these are studied. So that's why these types of studies are studied by the ethnologists to understand the racial diversities which are exist in this whole world, right? Next, human biology. This is also one of the broad branch of a physical anthropology. It is a main branch of physical anthropology which explores the research with the biological method. It focuses on the morphological, anatomical, biochemical methods to study about living and non-living humans. Human biology study from cells to tissue to organ to systems of the body. It is also useful in study the evolution of human, because it helps to study which organ is vanished from other primates, how many bones are new in the present human. This branch deal with the internal organs of the human body in order to understand their biochemical constitution. It also concerned with the how the physiology of man intersect with the internal factor like a climate or a food habit. It also studies the biochemical variation in mans and primates, and human biologists also study the type of blood which is in the humans, like ABO blood group or MN blood group or RH blood groups. So human biologists are the only persons who know about the biochemical or morphological or physiological of the body, because he is the only person who know about the organs, tissues or cell of present in the body, and type of biochemicals or a blood group present in the body, and which antibody or is useful or a beneficial or a non-beneficial. So these types of things are only known by the human biologist. So human biology is a very important branch of physical anthropology, right? Next, paleoanthropology. Paleoanthropology, it is a study of fossils. It is a study of not fossils, it is a study of human fossils, because anthropology is a study of man. So, which deal with the fossils, hominid family. Paleoanthropology helps to determine the time period, ecology, ways of lifestyle, food habits, structure, features of fossils. Through investigation of fossils, he can easily determine about the fossil, and according to that match the features of a suitable primates, and they classify that fossil in the taxonomic chart. Then paleoanthropologists study the evolution of human from hominid family. They mostly conduct field work and collect fossils. After that, investigate it and classify and found some new features in it. If new features find in the fossil, then it gives new name to them, right? And it's mostly it is a research subject and deep study of a hominid fossils. They are dating the fossil with the help of radioactive element method. So deal with the human and documentation of the biological history of humankind and establish their status and evolutionary significance. So this is it deal in this way, right? Next, human genetics. It is also a very important branch of physical anthropology, which deal with the inheritance characters. There is a genetic relation between the parents and offspring. There are a number of fields which take help from genetics to link the ancestors with the present Homo sapiens, right? And the dermatographic is also help to identify the offspring, and it is a part of genetic inheritance. Mitochondrial DNA extracted from the fossil bone, which help to give the link with ancestors, and it help in give clue about the DNA similarities between the ancestors to offspring, right? And from where this DNA pass in the generation, and why changes occur in the genes, what are the differences and similarities between the genes, which characters are passed through the parents to the offspring. It also study the Mendel laws, pattern of inheritance. It also study the pedigree. a type of diseases which are passed from the ancestors to the offsprings, right? And is these diseases are passed from the last uh, many generations or from last generation. So these types of studies are studied by the human genetics in the physical anthropology, right? Next, nutritional anthropology. Nutritional anthropology is also one of the broad branch of physical anthropology, which deal with the matter related with the nutritional perspectives of human beings and their subsequent growth and development. Nutrition is a basic need for our body. Anthropology not only study the individual but also in a group. So he studied the simpler society so that he comes to know the nutritional food in which society depends on, right? And nutritional anthropologists take a help of anthropometry to study the physical growth of the community with different measures. They collect data from the community and illustrate the growth and decomposition pattern of the community. They try to differentiate with other communities and know the change, right? And nutritional anthropology investigate and measure the body of the population of community and collect data about the economic status and family size, so that they come to know the reason of decline and incline of growth and development of the population in the community, right? So what is the main reason behind that? If the person's growth is declining, then what is the reason behind that? So the nutritional anthropology mostly focus on the growth and development of either of the individual or either of the community, right? Next is medical anthropology. It deals with the disease pattern and impact on human society. So medical anthropologists attempt to bring into the light the socio-cultural as well as genetic or environmental determinant of the disease within the population through the close study of the people and their way of life. So this is mainly a research field. This proved very much effective in fighting different diseases in human societies. Through research, medical anthropologists choose the most provoking area of disease by research and participate in the environment of that population which suffered with disease. He tried to find the reason of the diseases. Are there unhygienic condition is the main reason? Is this disease is communicable or a chronic? Is this disease hereditary or environmental? Or how disease occurrence is responsible with the economic poverty, right? How disease are responsible because of our economic status. Because if the person is have a money, then he or she should give a best treatment to the children, right? So this is the main reason. So medical anthropologists try to understand the problem behind that, right? So either diseases, either a nutritional status. So these types of studies are studied by the anthropologist. Next field, that is forensics anthropology. So forensics anthropology, the investigation of a human variation among living population, has led to the application of the knowledge in solving practical problems. So the development of a specialty known as a forensics anthropology is one of the result of this attempt. Forensics anthropology is the investigation of a human skeleton remains for medical and legal purposes. Forensics anthropology is identification of human skeleton remains for medical and legal purposes. Forensics anthropologists attempt to determine the sex, age at death, ancestral background and structure of the deceased individual. Using the knowledge, forensics anthropologists identify the crash victim, war casualty, homicide victims and skeleton remains in an unmarked grave. So forensics anthropologists identify the skeleton, bones and skulls with the help of anthropological methodology. They have to first clarify that is this bone or a skeleton of human or of animal. If human, then they continue their investigation. After that, they determine the sex, age, structure, ethnicity of the bone, skull or a skeleton. Then the third step they have to do is they try to make a face with the help of face superimpositions or latest techniques. So in this way they try to give justice to the accused person. So they in this way they solve the cases, right? Now the ninth branch is the dental anthropology. This branch is of knowledge deal with the teeth and its pattern. The teeth provide the body shape and size as well as the food habits and related behavior patterns. The dental and morphology assists us to comprehend the human evolution, growth, body morphology and genetical features, etc. It is therefore a specialized knowledge which attempts to study the distribute on the different dental traits among different populations. There are number of type of morphological variation in teeth. These variations occur in different people. They are supernumerary, congenial absence of teeth, or an extra cusp, or a proto-stylid, or carabolic cusp, shovel-shaped incisors, or a taurodontism, fusion, peg-shaped incisors, missing extra roots, or an enamel extension, or a pearl-like shaped. This type of morphological variation in teeth help the anthropologist to know about the person eating habits or living way habits of the person whose teeth is found from the side. So in this way dental anthropology helps to determine the body shapes and food habits of the person. So this is also very important branch of anthropology. The next is anthropometry. So anthropometry, this is a broad branch of anthropology which serve as a science of measurement, right? There are number of fields in anthropology that are human axiology, human growth and development, kin anthropology, etc. It studies not only the useful. It is not only useful in the study of gradual human development through evolution. It also understands the racial discrimination and pattern, but also help in the day-to-day ways of life, which is exclusively related to human biology forms, right? So anthropometry have many other subfields like osteometry, smetoscopy, smatometries, etc. So osteometry, in which anthropologists take a measurements of the bones or a skull, so through which they try to understand the ethnicity race of the individual. Smetoscopy is a branch in which they try to know the color, texture of the body or of the hair, of eye color, eye texture, eye forms or hair forms. So these types of things are studied in this smetoscopy. So there are other number of subfields in anthropometry which deal in this way, because every race have their own unique colors and patterns of a body, right? Have a unique measurements and have a unique texture of a hair or eyes. So and it also has to differentiate between the different groups. So anthropometry even used in the textile and fashion industries, where they specially hire to the anthropologists because they know the special landmarks on the body, which help to taking the exact measurements through which the industry can design dress which would be suitable for every kind of a person. If any industry wants to design a standard dress of a thin person, right? So they first have to take an exact measurement of the dress. So they specially hire to the anthropologists for taking the measurements for the standard dress, so which is suitable for every kind of thin person. So for this type of things, they specially hire to the anthropology for exact measurements, because they are the only persons who know the exact landmarks on the body. So anthropometry is a very useful branch of the physical anthropology, which is one of the broad branch of physical anthropology, right? And next is the ergonomics. This branch of physical anthropology is concerned with the correlation between the static body dimensions and the designing of machines to be driven by the man, right? So this branch of knowledge is very important by the very fact that many group of people differ in body size as a result of varied biological and environmental factors. So this branch used in a factory where machines or a furniture has been manufacturing, right? The factories first designed the material like an aeroplane seat. So ergonomics are hired for these purposes. So to tell about the exact measurement of the seat, so that it should be comfortable and fit for every type of person. And study if any factory or any industry wants to make a study table. So this hire to the ergonomics so that they can they would be designed exact measurements. According to the exact measurement, they designed the study table, and so give the knowledge about the measurements size, so that every type of person can fit on the study table without feeling fatigue. And another thing is computer table would be designed. It should be of that height or that length breadth, so that person keep their arms to type on the keyboard, because without feeling tired or back pain. So they specially hire to the ergonomics for these purposes. And the next branch is demography. So demography, it is a science of population. It deals with the fertility, mortality, mobility, migration rate. It is a helpful branch which gives the idea of inclination or declination of fertility, mortality rate of a different population. So they can see the comparison between the countries or a state. They try to find the factors which are responsible for the migration, fertility or a mortality rate. If a migration rate is more in urban area than the rural area, then what is the reason behind that? Is good facilities and better education facilities are available in the urban area? If a fertility rate is more than then what is the reason behind that? Is the intervention facilities are not available, or uneducation or literacy rate is responsible for that? If a mortality rate is less in some countries, then what is the reason? Is the medicinal facilities and literacy rate is the reason? So these types of studies are done by the demographer or anthropologist in the physical anthropology. So the government hired demographer for the surveys or census method for measuring these measures, right? So this is another branch of physical anthropology. And next is ethology. Ethology, it is a science of animal behavior. The data obtained from the study of other primate behavior are being used to assist a basic background of human ancestors may have acted on a different issues. Ethologists study and live in a forest to understand the primate behaviors, how they live with each other. Are they arboreal or terrestrial? Are they living in a group or an individual? How they prevent from rains or a climate or from a cold or a heat? How they react in a group? Then even study through tools also. Are they using tools for cutting or chopping purposes? These knowledge are helpful for the anthropologists because it assists them to comparison between the human and non-human primates by using these types of knowledge. And they also have to match the primate behavior with the human. According to that, they classify the human ancestors with the present human, right? So ethologists help the anthropologists in this way. Next, evolutionary biology. This branch of physical anthropology which deal with the evolution of man. What are the factors responsible for variation that produce the diversity of life on earth, starting from single common ancestor? These processes include natural selections and traits which select by the nature, that is passed to the next generation, or common descent, that these alleles are found in a whole population due to environment or a daily adaptation which create a change in the body, that is passed from one generation to another. Or organs are vanished or are not, like a tail which was existed in the hominid ancestors, but now only tailbone is present, but tail is vanished from the present species of human. So these types of studies are studied by the evolutionary biologists in physical anthropology. According to the features, they made a linkage between the hominid ancestors, right? So next is the last branch, that is a paleopathology. It is a study of Asian diseases. This study focused not only the pathogenetic condition observable in a bones or a mummified soft tissues, but also on a nutritional disorder, variation in structure or morphology bones over a time, evidence of physical traumas, or evidence of occupationally derived biomechanic stress. Number of bones are found which give clue about the ancient diseases. The fractures and cracks are also found in some bones, which give idea that ancient people used some medicinal plants or other ancient curing methods to heal their fractures or any other disease. So these are some Asian nutritional disorders are also found, which give a knowledge about the person who suffered from a poverty or due to insufficient amount of calcium in the bone. So there are some cracks, features or cavities are found in a skulls or a bone, which show injured with the heavy or a light weapon or stick or sharp stick. So bone give lots of information about the Asian diseases. Paleopathologists study through the fossil bones, skulls and skeletons to comprehend about the Asian diseases. So paleopathology is very helpful to give knowledge about the type of diseases which were present in the past time period. So paleopathology also give the knowledge through the bones, because there are number of cracks, cavities, features or fractures are found on the bones, and these bones help to understand about how the person heal from the injury or how they prevent themselves from the diseases. So these types of things are studied by the paleopathologists in the physical anthropology, right? So this is the last branch of a physical anthropology. The next branch is linguistic anthropology. This is the second branch of anthropology. It is a branch of anthropology which deal with the language, right? So it is concerned with the language of all people, past and present, as it is the chief vehicle through which man preserve or transmit his culture from generation to generation. It also interested in the relationship between language and cultural cognition as well as cultural behavior. So linguistic anthropology study unwritten languages as also written languages. Another crucial differences between them is that those features which the former taken from granted into consideration by the latter. So these features are related are the mind of people. Each of these features are culturally conditioned and hence unique to each culture and society. So linguistic is a study of language. Linguistic described and analyzed the sound pattern, combination of a sound, meaning and structure of sentences in a human languages. They also attempt to determine how two or more languages are related. Historically, modern linguistics are especially interested in whether all human languages share any universal common feature. Some recent works suggest that human infants are born with a knowledge of sets of generalized rules that allow them to discover specific rules of language around them, to formulate new sentences by applying these rules. So the term linguistic anthropology is anthropological linguistic and ethno-linguistic are often used interchangeably in the linguistic anthropology literature. However, more preferred term is linguistic anthropology. So it is a study of speech and language within the context of anthropology. So linguistic anthropology usually focuses on unwritten language, those languages which have no form of writing languages or used by people of a non-Western societies. It is especially concerned with the relation between the language and other aspects of human behavior and thought. So linguistic anthropologists might describe and analyze a language as far known as linguistic science. So in this way, if the person is, if linguistic anthropologists want to study one particular society, first they have to know about their language. If they are not know how what they are speaking, then they are not able to understand what they are not able to collect data or study that society. So if if he or she can understand their language and easily participate in that culture, easily understand that culture and ritual of that society. But if they are not aware about their language, they have their enough methodology, they know the methodology by which they can understand and what they are speaking with each other, they in which way they are communicating with each other with the help of their expression. They can understand then in which context they are saying something. Is there any good emotion that they communicate in which they are communicating with each other, or any other? So in this way,